Hello, Bev. Yeah, good evening from the spin room here shortly after the end of this seven-way leaders debate, and all the parties have sent out representatives to defend their candidates who are speaking in that debate. With me now, David Davis, the candidate in Holter Price and Howden. David,
that's right.
Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us on GB News.
It feels odd to watch it from outside, not being in it.
Normally you're in it, but they've got the big guns out in the spin room.
Absolutely.
You heard that from Penny Mordaunt. She said that the PM was completely wrong to come back early. That's quite a big thing to say about a colleague who's Prime Minister.
But it's what he said, and he apologised, and I understand something. I mean, I was out there for the 65th anniversary, right? Gordon Brown wasn't even going to go until Obama turned up. That was his deliberate decision, not a diary mistake. So the Prime Minister said, he's sorry about it, and he's apologised immediately, and we ought to tell every single veteran in the country and all their relatives, we really treasure what they did for us. They gave you and me the freedom to talk today. They made sacrifices for it. It must have been bloody terrifying, frankly, to be on that beach back in 80 years ago. So let's understand that. We all understand that. Our Prime Minister's a patriot. He's sorry for the mistake, but he's clear.
It goes to his character, though, doesn't it?
In what way?
Well, why on earth is he going out early, leaving these veterans?
Because he's a Prime Minister. He's being rushed. The other Prime Ministers and Presidents there don't have a general election on, to be fair, and somebody made a mistake in the diary planning. You would know. You're an experienced journalist. You would know Prime Ministers don't do their own diaries. So there we are.
So someone did. Okay. In the debate we heard there, Linda said, "Why does nothing get done? All these bloody promises by people like you, the politicians, but nothing gets done. Yeah. Why is that?"
Well, actually, it was a great line. I thought it was one of the better questions, in truth. Well, part of the reason you've seen in the last few years, you've got 4 once-in-a-generation events. You've got pandemic, war in Europe, the crash, which we hadn't recovered from when we took over. All of these things, and you get them dealt with. And actually, look at what Rishi had to do. He created the furlough scheme, which kept people in work. Factories would have been shut.
But people are sick of broken promises, and you've been in power for 14 years. Surely it's time for a new party.
Well, an awful lot of things have been delivered. I mean, we talked about lots today. I mean, first off, I thought that the very opening question was a stunner when Penny turned to Angela Rayner and said, "You can make whatever promises you like about the nuclear deterrent. If the other side don't believe you believe in it, it won't work. And you have voted any number of times against it." It absolutely shot her down. So that was important. On defence, we've actually increased by I think about 25 billion since 2020, before it became fashionable, before the sort of Ukraine issue blew up. We were already on it, in terms of spending in healthcare. Record spending. Numbers of policemen, record numbers. People don't see it because they hear all the pessimism all the time.
Nigel Farage did talk about net migration. He said it's made us all poorer. Net migration has surged by 4 million during the 14 years of Tory government. That's your failure as a party.
Well, I think the thing to understand, part of it was from Europe. It was the open borders. That's why we had Brexit. He and I were...
How's it work, David? You know very well.
Well, wait a minute. He and I were atlas on it. Well, it's coming. Legal migration is coming down. Bear in mind the illegal migration issue. Illegal is another matter. The legal migration issue, you've got to take on board. We took the Ukrainian people during that time. Do you not want to do that? We took passport holders from Hong Kong, and we took Afghan soldiers who fought for us. You don't want to do any of those things? So we're bringing it down quite sharply now. New caps and a parliamentary cap. I think that's wonderful. I'm a parliamentarian. I want to control it.
How did you find the audience in there? They were applauding anti-Brexit remarks, pro-migration remarks. Are you out of touch with Britain, or was that audience out of touch with what most people think?
I guess, who knows how they select the audience, but these debates are stacked against the government of the day, inevitably. You've got 6 people with nothing to defend and 1 government, and I suspect the audience is picked the same way. They've got people representing each, so you've got 6 to 1 against. I'm not surprised by that. I know what I see on my doorsteps. I've spent the whole week on doorsteps. I have been amazed, to be honest. The first Reform person I came across was today, all week. Lots of Tories very worried about the state of the polls. You and I have watched. I've fought. This is my 11th election, right? 2 things always happen. One, people make dramatic mistakes on all sides.
Your guy.
Well, on all sides. I mean, I could talk about Starmer and £2,000 per person tax, which he didn't deny on the night. But also, the polls, not quite always, but almost always are wrong. So, let's see how it plays out.
You're an optimist, David Davis.
No, I'm a fighter. That's what we're about. This is a battle. It's a battle for the future of Britain. And as you saw today, clearly again, they haven't answered. Labour haven't answered the questions on tax. They haven't got any plans. We had this wonderful GB Energy. Great bills.
Great bills. Okay.
And it doesn't do anything. This company. If the answer's nationalisation, you got the question wrong.
Well, David Davis, thank you for joining us today
Pleasure.
on GB News. David Davis there, who's a spokesman for the Tory party here in a spin room, Bev.
OK, thank you very much, Chopper. David Davis in fighting form there, saying it's a battle for the future of Britain.